5 ways to avoid capital gains tax. That's what this video is going to give you. Plain and simple language, no BS, no filler, and this assumes of course that you're already making use of your ISA and your pension wrappers, which shelter you from CGT. Those are obvious. I get asked this question quite a lot, and there are certainly methods that are available to most people to avoid capital gains tax in the UK. There's some you might be aware of, but I'm betting there's a couple you might not be aware of. This isn't going to be a long video, it's going to be short, sharp and to the point. If you're here for the first time, I'm Chris. I'm a financial planner based here in the UK, and I help people achieve financial independence early through tax, investment and lifestyle planning. So hit the like, subscribe and notification bell buttons if you haven't already. It's all completely tax-free, and without any further ado, let's go. We'll start with an easy one that most of you will probably know about already. The exemption on transfers between spouses. If you're married, you can usually transfer or part transfer ownership of an asset to a husband or wife without it triggering a capital gains tax charge. Once ownership has been transferred, your spouse can then sell the asset in their name. And what this does is ensure that you can both utilise your capital gains tax allowance, which is £12,300 for the tax year. You can both crystallise gains of £12,300 without any capital gains tax being due. It's important to note as well that the allowance is for the gain, not for the value of the asset sold. Sometimes people think that if they sell something for more than £12,300, they'll be taxed to pay. It's not that, it's the amount of gain you've made. For example, if you sold something for £50,000 and you'd bought it for £40,000, your gain is £10,000, and that is within that allowance. No tax to pay. If you're a higher or additional rate taxpayer and your spouse is a basic rate taxpayer or below, if you're going to have to pay CGT, it's best that the gain is made in their name rather than yours, because they'll pay 10% or 18% on gains made from property, whereas you'll pay 20% or 28% on gains made from property. Method number 2 is one that lots of people aren't aware of, and that is that some assets are CGT exempt. You don't pay any tax on the gains you make. One of them is UK government bonds, or Gilts as they're otherwise known. These are fixed interest securities issued by the UK government, so they have a very high level of capital security. Any gains you make on these are exempt from CGT. You can buy Gilts directly from the Debt Management Office, or stockbrokers, or the Bank of England's brokerage service. Now, I'm not going to discuss the appropriateness of Gilts for you as an investment in this video, or whether now is a good time to buy them or not. This is purely to discuss ways to avoid CGT. Another little side note here, all British legal currency is exempt from capital gains tax. So that includes gold Britannia coins, silver Britannia coins, and gold sovereigns. Bullion bars are taxable though, because they are not currency. And before you ask, no, cryptocurrency is not exempt. Method 3 is another slightly esoteric one. What a great word that is, esoteric. And that is the use of EISs or SEISs, enterprise investment schemes or seed enterprise investment schemes. They're not necessarily for the faint-hearted, and there are slight differences between both of them. When you purchase enterprise investment scheme shares, you can claim what's called deferral relief on any gain you've made. What that means is you essentially freeze that gain in time and defer paying anything until some future date, which has the effect of reducing the true cost of the tax charge by inflation. Or it's even possible in future years, once a minimum investment period of 3 years has been served, to use the annual CGT allowances in order to get rid of that taxable gain. Any gains that you make in the EIS investment itself, by the way, are free from capital gains tax, and you can actually carry forward gains from 3 previous tax years and get relief on those. Seed enterprise investment schemes are even more generous because they provide reinvestment relief for capital gains, which allows 50% of the reinvested gain to essentially be wiped out. Now the thing is, of course, that everything in life has a cost, and the cost with these investment vehicles is the higher risk. They're investments into young, unlisted companies. EISs can hold slightly more established companies, but SEISs are generally investments into brand new companies. so there's high capital risk there. You need to be fully aware of that. Method 4 is, once again, revisiting an investment vehicle I've discussed in a lot of depth recently, and that's an investment bond. I'm not going to explain all of the features of onshore and offshore investment wrappers here, but check out my recent video on that subject for a full rundown. I've linked it above and in the description below. Basically, before buying assets directly through a general investment account and being subject to capital gains tax on the gains, consider taking some advice on whether an investment bond wrapper could be better for you. Gains aren't subject to capital gains tax, there are special allowances to take withdrawals tax efficiently, and a number of other special features. Finally, method 5 is more for property investment than anything else, so it may not be appropriate to everyone, but that is to consider using a company structure. Capital gains tax is a type of personal taxation. Companies don't pay it. So this is definitely one way of avoiding CGT. Okay, companies do pay corporation tax, but that's 19% at the moment. And if you're a higher rate taxpayer, it's 28% on capital gains. You'd also pay dividend tax on extracting profits from the company, but that's only if you take profits out. If you were to roll the gains made from one property sale into another purchase, that wouldn't be a consideration. So you could potentially build a portfolio more quickly and tax efficiently. There's also more scope for allowable deductions in a company, notably mortgage interest, which is restricted for personally owned properties now. It's not the land of milk and honey though. There are lots of considerations like higher accountancy costs and a smaller choice of mortgage lenders, amongst other things, but it is certainly something to be explored. For more free financial planning content, guys, all you need to do is hit that subscribe button below and hit the notification bell, and you'll get fresh videos delivered weekly. Don't forget that you can get a totally free share worth all the way up to £200 with free trade just by clicking my link in the description below. If you found that useful and you haven't hit the like button, you've got 15 seconds, and then stick around and watch another video.